and we are out in the country, the road, if you will, in the state of Iowa. I couldn't really be more in love with this place, I gotta tell you. The Midwest is where it's at. This state is where it's at. It breaks my heart that just over the river from where I live in Illinois, so many people are beginning to be restricted again selectively, as I told you. And as I continue to tell everybody, these restrictions will not and really cannot stop without you people out there just saying no to everything, to stop acquiescing to all of the madness. And, you know, we've never been treated as children so outwardly in this country. It's very apparent that the person that they say in charge, that they put in charge, when I say they, I mean a predator class that hates you, that hates you, that hates you, runs nothing. I mean, runs nothing. Absolutely zero. Zip. Zilch. He runs absolutely nothing. Nothing he says is even, you know, I mean, it's not even considered because there's not an original thought in his mind if there's a thought left in his dementia-ridden skull, okay? And I've been posting a lot about the Fourth Industrial Revolution, about the true power structure. And if you go over to my Twitter, and guys, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter and you're following me on YouTube, I don't understand. Even if you don't have a Twitter, okay, you can still go to twitter.com/Jason Burmis and go check it out, because I do end up posting a lot on there that unfortunately just never makes it to the channel, whether it be YouTube or Rockfin. So I do believe that you might want to go give that a look. And one of the recent videos that I put out there is Klaus Schwab talking with really a guy that gives globalism a platform, Charlie Rose, right? Charlie Rose has had some really interesting conversations with people. You know, he's had that, I'm not sure if he still has the show. I know there was that big Me Too scandal about Charlie Rose, but Charlie Rose, also a Bilderberg attendee at one time, very much hooked into the establishment. And Charlie Rose is interviewing Klaus Schwab back in 2016, okay, over 5.5 years ago now. I think it was like in January or February 2016. And he's talking about this Fourth Industrial Revolution and the ethical nature of literally changing human DNA. All right? And he's talking about this through, you know, different types of gene therapy and, yes, mRNA technology. Okay? I want to be clear. Now, although he seems to be in this part, little short section of the interview, oh, he's concerned about the morality and the ethics of such things. He's not. And he makes a mile, slight right onto 20th Avenue. He makes that abundantly clear. Okay, abundantly clear by the end of it, when he starts talking about robots and automation and what's coming in, and he's talking about what humans will be doing. Okay, and he basically says that not everybody can be a robot polisher. Let me repeat that for you. Okay, he says it in English. There's no translation necessary. Let me repeat it. He says, not everybody for 5 miles. Be a robot polisher. Spit shut shoe, governor. What? A robot polisher, motherfucker? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You're telling me that I and the rest of humanity might not be up to snuff to polish your slave bots. What arrogance. What arrogance. What disturbing, disgusting thing to say. Oh, that's what they're going to do? That's what humans going to do? They're going to polish the robots? And the sick thing about that is, let's be honest, the maintenance of many of these robots on an aesthetic level, you won't need an engineer to do that. You won't even need a human being, so he's not even being honest there. He's a real piece of human trash, that Klaus Schwab, okay? And he's a mouthpiece to try to take everything good away from this country and this world. I mean, I'm driving through gorgeous cornfields right now. We're just starting to hit the fall weather. The trees here just slightly, ever so slightly changing. I know it's tough to see on the sides because everything gets blown out because of the sun, because it's gorgeous outside. But let's be honest, these people do not want you connected to nature. They don't want you connected to your neighbors. They want you covering your face. They want total surveillance. They want a breathalyzer in this car. They want a smart meter in this car. They want to track, trace, database, tax everything you do. And that's why they're going to shift all of this virus fear over to climate fear next. That's the next thing. And I rewatched something that I think everybody needs to watch just yesterday. Shout out to Jane Doe. Jane Doe is R.A. the Rugged Man's niece. Got to have breakfast with her, R.A., his DJ, Afro, and we had a lot of great conversations. And I saw on Twitter that she had said something about weather manipulation and whether or not, that kind of warfare was real. And I'm like, that is old. And what I did was I went and I found someone had still posted Alex Jones's interview of Ben Livingston, who was doing weather warfare with the military in the 50s and 60s. Okay, flying into the eyes of hurricanes, showing Jones pictures of retrofitted aircraft in order to disperse silver oxide and other things to enhance storms, such as in Vietnam, okay, and then to knock out other storms. This technology is, over half a century old. Let me repeat that. This technology is over half a century old. And now all of a sudden, right, we've got heavy rain in New York from Ida. Now, instead of utilizing that technology, we know the military has, and Ben Livingston talks about this, by the way. Ben Livingston says, why aren't we using this technology that he knew existed? I think the interview's from like 2010 or 11. Ben Livingston, the godfather of weather warfare. Well, I'll tell you why, because they want to blame everything on climate change and disruption, right? And listen, the climate's always going to change. I heard Schumer used the term global warming, and that'll be the next thing that will be restricted on platforms like YouTube and Google. Okay, you get it? Do you understand? That's the next move. See, it was medical misinformation. Then they start banning moms whose kids get killed in Afghanistan, right? They get deplatformed. And then it's going to be all about this if you don't want to pay a carbon tax and be in climate lockdowns. If you don't want global governance and the world cartel, if you will. All right? The global cartel, the predator class telling you what to do and using the United Nations as some kind of mechanism for this.
Merge onto I-80 East, US 6 East.
Thank you so much for all those great directions. Here we go. Oh boy, it's been a day, guys. It's been a day. And normally I do mixed martial mindset with John Fitch today. We may be pushing that back. I don't know if now's a great time to talk about my aunt passing away. But for those that don't know, she didn't make it. She went into the hospital with little to no symptoms. They immediately, after putting her in a COVID ward because she tested positive, they'd already thrown my 30-year-old cousin on a vent who luckily caught off that vent and survived. But he's damaged for the rest of his life. Let's make no bones about it. And then my uncle, who did take the double boop, tested positive as well. So they immediately cut you off from your primary care. They immediately cut her off from her medications. You know how I feel about what happened there. St. Luke's Hospital is disgusting. Stay out of the hospitals. They also threatened my uncle with arrest if he didn't home quarantine after testing positive after taking their double shots. So, I probably can't say what I want on this platform, but I want to let people know everything I'm telling you is very real. Those doctors who cut her off from her primary care also had the nerve to tell my uncle that remdesivir was the same as ivermectin. My God. I mean, these people that don't think that doctors could be sociopathic and do this sort of thing, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. And I don't understand why you think that. A lot of these people have been literal shills for Big Pharma for how long? Prior to COVID-1984, one of the last places you'd want to be is a hospital because of all the medical malpractice there. Okay? Listen, I get in a car accident, something falls on me, that's the first place I want to be. The first place I want to be for trauma. But outside of that, call me fucking skeptical. Okay? So, I'm pretty heartbroken. I really, people are asking me, what am I doing on 9/11? I have no idea. We don't even know when the funeral or all that's going to be. I don't know if I'm even going to go to that because I have my nieces here. And quite frankly, I don't think we should drag them all the way across the country for this. So it's either going to be me or my sister, and my sister's already, kind of expressed that she wants to go. I want to go too. I want to shout out to my aunt, hopefully up in heaven. She was a very big Christian. She did a lot for me. And I remember that stuff. As a little kid, going to her house, playing in the backyard, being in the pool, all the way up to, I believe she was a co-signer on my college loans. Like that kind of thing. She had a huge heart. She always made sure to, give me, I was getting cards for my birthday from my Aunt Candy, whom I love very much, well into my 30s. Okay? And for anyone who thinks that, people that aren't fighting back or that are rolling up their sleeves deserve what's happening right now in this country and in this world, no, they don't. They know not what they do. And unfortunately, they've been browbeaten by a sophisticated, scientific method of tyranny developed by the Defense Department and the military-industrial complex to literally put the masses into states of fear, immobilization, irrationality, and Stockholm Syndrome on steroids. So no, these people don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. All right, I want to say that again. And I just want to say from the very outset, this doesn't end. It doesn't end with shot 3. It's not going to end with shot 4 in Israel. And I'm not sure that it ends well. A lot of people think that these people are going to be tried for their crimes and that they're going to go to prison and it's going to be Nuremberg 2.0. I got to tell you guys, I'm 42 years old. I missed the part where all the billionaires got in trouble in this country. I missed the part where the billionaires went to prison. I missed the part where the billionaires, were tried for their crimes against humanity and their corporations broken up. I missed the part where even their low-level minion war criminals in government did the same. It's been very few and far between that you've even seen government officials go down, let alone anybody in the true predator class throughout my entire lifetime. Okay? Now, does that mean I'm hopeless? Absolutely not. But we have to stop fooling ourselves. We have to stop acting like the court system's going to do the work for us, right? We have to stop acting like we're going to vote them out. We got to stop acting like that in any way, shape, or form, any of these are liberal or conservative, Republican or Democrat issues. They're not. They're not. So that now is the time for humanity to rise up. Rise up. And just say no to everything. Just say no to everything. The localized level is the only place it's going to be at. And if we don't organize locally and fight back against this very true predator class, you'll be lucky to be a robot polisher, according to Klaus Schwab and his Fourth Industrial Revolution gang. All right? So here's the deal, guys. The links are down below to support. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to be doing some broadcasts a little later today. Rockfin. It's a platform for free speech, that empowers me. It's not trying to enslave us through these false narratives, right? You think about that. I was talking about the I word, right? Old ivermectin all the way back in February. And what did I get for it from YouTube? I got strike 1 and I got strike 2 for playing Senate hearings and Dr. Pierre Corey. And now, the parrots out there, the bots, it's a right-wing Fox thing. Right-wing Fox thing? I was begging 6 and 7 months ago for Fox to start covering this. And then now we've got all these fake stories like in the Rolling Stone where they said people weren't getting served, weren't getting treated for their gunshot wounds in Oklahoma. Totally made up. People like Rachel Maddow spit it out. Mainstream media spit it out. They don't have to retract it. They're not banned anywhere, right? The hospital system came out and said this is all Johnny nonsense. The guy who said that doesn't even work here.
Keep left to continue
wow.
on I-80 East.
I mean, wow. So, you guys know the drill. Thumbs up, subscribe, share, go over and Rockfin. That's where everything uncensored lives. 1 year Rockfin, $100 knocks off $20. Ray hanging tough. Ray powers Rockfin. You can get it on Uniswap now. And if you want to invest in free speech, the Ray token might be the way to go. Just saying. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me on this country ride during all this country craziness.